Man, get off your ass, man. It's time to get up and start moving, G. That 5 pounds you want to lose? I lost that yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Out here getting it. It's a grind, baby. Get off your ass, bitch. Yo, it's your boy AT. We're back again with another edition of Greenhouse Health. We're going to be having a short talk today about finding your why and what it means to you. I mean, and when you first hear that, finding a why, I don't even know what will pop into your brain. So I kind of just go in a little bit, giving a little background on what that means. So why, what is why? Why is anything? Why could be anything, right? Why do we get up in the morning? Why do we brush our teeth? Why do we eat breakfast? Why do we drink water? Why do we breathe? There's a bunch of different things that could be answered by why. Why do we make why, or why should we make why so important? Why is probably the most important question that any of us ask ourselves, any day, anything that we go through. Why is probably the most important question. It's the most simplest question that you can possibly ask of why something happened. There it is again, why. I don't know if we understand how many times a day the phrase or the question why comes up, because it's the base of everything. Everything is based from why. So I guess just get into what why is and kind of what why means in a sense of what we're talking about today. Do you find yourself to continuously fall short of goals, missing out on events and or so not having the time you would like to have at an event? Say you had plans to go to PCB, I don't know, whatever the kids are doing nowadays, and you wanted to have a shirt off the whole time. You wanted to have a six-pack, and you kind of just fell short because you lost track along somewhere. Maybe life got tough, you hit a bump in the road, and you just fell off from doing the ab work that you said you were going to do to get that six-pack before you had to go to PCB. So that's more so the area I want to cover today, over the reason we fall off of our goals, we fall short of our goals, and that's the basis of what we're talking about here. Why? Why does that happen? Why are you falling short of your goals? That's the question there. You have to sit around, there was a day and time that came where I had to really look myself in the mirror. And at that point in time, I honestly looked myself and I literally was looking at myself in the mirror. And I just made a decision at that point in time. I could not be that same person I was. I took photos of myself right then and there, and I wanted to mark a stamp in time of that day where I found my why, and I didn't want to be that person anymore. So, I guess I'll get into it. What's your why? I guess I could start with my why. I've recently become a father. I would start with that, and it's one of the greatest experiences it's the greatest experience I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt the type of feeling when my daughter was born. I just never in my life thought that feeling could be possible, and it's almost like I left my body I can't even explain how I felt. But it's a great feeling to be a parent. But getting back to our topic here and how that relates. The day I referred to earlier about me looking myself in the mirror, that was the same day I found that I would, at the time, possibly be having a child coming into the world. And at that time, I had I wouldn't call it working out at all. You know, I would say I would do 100 push-ups a week. You know, I was gaming a lot. I was eating a lot of junk, you know, to be honest, a lot of junk. I didn't eat meat at that time, but at the same time, I ate a lot of junk, you know, freaking cheese, pizza rolls, and cheese pizza, you know, it's just a lot of junk, a lot of saturated fat, like stuff that's just not in any shape, form, whether it's meat or not meat on it, should not really honestly be going into your body in high levels like that. And now that I know what I know that that's why I was where I was. And you know, after getting that news, I had to really go and self-reflect. You know, of course, you know, because you have to put into perspective that now you're going to be a parent and you are now dependent on. You are dependent on at this point. So at that point, I guess knowing on the possibility of me being a father and knowing how I always wanted to be a father and knowing the type of father I wanted to be, and that be active, and that means in a literal and physical sense. I didn't want to get to the point of being the dad who's just, you know, the TV dad. He sits on the couch, you know, Al Bundy, you know, hands and pants and flips the TV, you know, that's, you know, and your son's running right by you to the door and he has a basketball in his hand and you have no care in the world to even try to go out and play basketball with your son because you're so out of shape. Or it's just you know that you might get an injury and it's stuck in your head and you haven't been active in so long. Those type of things really can affect the household in a different way. And I want to be the person to say, hey, at 55, even 65, if my damn son wants to play basketball, my daughter wants to go do gymnastics, run track, race, I'm down for it. I can do it. And I'll be the first one to ask you to race, you know, at 65. You know, I don't know, you know, maybe I'm talking like this now, but as of right now, I feel like I'm building I have the building blocks now to get to that point, honestly. And I'm building to that point, and that's always been a goal of mine. So I guess you could say what my why is, to sum it up, it's I don't want to be a broken down old man at just 35, 40, and 45, and 50. And it's something, honestly, in my community, that's what we see. A lot of, when I grew up, a lot of the people who were in their 40s, they could have basically been retired. I've never seen, honestly, I have family members who are active in their fields and doing things, and they're out and they stay in shape doing that, but I really never seen any of my family members taking their physical fitness to another level. I've never seen any of them doing it. Never. You know, we're from Mississippi originally, so I guess, you know, born big fellas. I've never seen any of my uncles. I've heard of them being athletes back in high school in their time, but nothing afterwards. Never seen any of my uncles bounce a basketball, throw a football. I've never seen it, you know. They might have, but I can't say I've seen it. But I don't want to be that. So I guess you could ask me what my why is the fact that I don't want to be a broken down old man. I want to be able to interact with my kids on a physical level, to be able to say my daughter wants to freaking practice her routine for the cheerleading. Dad has the shoulder strength to, push her up. Of course a lot of men will have the strength, but do I have the, pliability to do that and not get an injury? Is Dad able to, if my son wants to play wide receiver, can I even throw a decent ball to him to even get him to be able to hone in on his just catching? Will I be active enough? Will I even have the physical capability to be active enough? And I guess a sub why would be, in that same year, I lost a cousin to drowning. And I won't get into the specifics of that. It was a tragic situation for sure. And no later than a month from that, I myself found myself in a situation where I could have drowned. And honestly, going through something like that is traumatic, but also when you can sit on this side of it, you can of course appreciate things, but also you have a different perspective. At least with me, my brain works a little different. From that, I didn't get, hey, I almost drowned. Short story, I was on a paddle board, and we're going back into the beach. I was just learning that day. I got actually pretty good, but just, paddle boarding from the knee. I tried to stand up, lost balance, fell from under me, floated back towards the middle of the lake. Granted, I could swim. I'm wearing a life jacket, but I'm being cool that day. I don't have my life jacket zipped. So it's, it's on me, but when you don't have a life jacket zipped, of course it's gonna float your arms up. So with that, I said I was gonna make this short. So with that, I can swim. I'm trying to get over to the to my paddleboard. I get the paddleboard, try to hop back on it. At this point in time, I'm maybe 275, close to 280, maybe 285. I have no clue at that point because health isn't even important enough for me to get on the scale to know how heavy I am. So I'm trying to get on this paddleboard. I get on it, flips over. It floats further out into the middle of the lake. Swim back to it, flips over, floats further out. Same thing the third time I get to it. By this time, I'm exhausted. Exhausted. So I could not physically give another jump to go on top of that paddleboard. And when you're in a situation like that, if anybody's ever in a situation like that, the best thing to do is not panic and to just stay calm. And if you have a life vest, just float. Honestly, just float until someone can see you, come help you. And that's what I chose to do. Also have your life vest zipped. That would also help the situation a lot more, and it won't be kind of pulling you to the top, and don't be the cool guy. So with that situation, that's a sub why. It helped me realize that, yeah, I had the skill to be able to swim. I could swim. I've always been able to swim my entire life. I didn't have the endurance. I didn't have the muscle. I didn't have the body control, the core control to be able to get myself on that paddleboard. When you're in the middle of the lake, you don't have anything to push off of. You're using pretty much your core to jab you up to get up on that board. Kind of have it. Things like that could have saved my life. Luckily, I was able to float there until a person from my party was able to notice that I fell behind, and they came back out and helped me, and everything's fine. I'm here today. Everything was fine. But finding things, man, you gotta find a why. Those two things combined right there is probably enough fuel to push me for a lifetime. I don't need a coach. I don't need anybody to tell me anything. That's it. Knowing those two things, knowing that I'm a father and I can't let my kids down in the fact that I want to be physically active enough to be involved in their lives. Involved. And also knowing that I could have potentially lost my life because I wasn't in shape. It's not worth it. You gotta think about things in those terms. Yeah, it's fun to go out and eat and have desserts and all these fancy restaurants and things of that nature, but when your life is on the line and it takes your physical self to save yourself, let's get off of it. So how to find a why? You kind of got that from the stories I just told, how I found my whys. And you kind of got to find something that means something to you that strongly. It has to mean something to you that strongly. It can't be, I'm not going to tell you what it can't be. Just find something that means something to you. It can be something that comes from your greatest desires. I love to make unrealistic goals. As I just told you, I might have been 280 something pounds at that. And one day I told my family and friends that I wanted to be 185 pounds. Of course, people side-eyed. They looked like, okay. People told me that would be too skinny. People said I wouldn't look right. People said a lot of things, but I believe in my mind that when I got to 185 pounds, I would look great. And now I'm about 5 pounds from there. I mean, I can say I can lose another 15 even. You know, I mean, honestly, but it can come from a lot of different sources. You can have a lot of different sources. I mean, what pisses you off? I mean, honestly, the story I just told about that drowning situation, that pisses me off. It pisses me off. It does. What's some of your deepest fears? You know? Some of your greatest desires. That's the one. Can you visualize what your greatest desire may be in life? I tried to visualize myself at 185 pounds. Of course, I put a little sauce on it. You know, I had my little Arnold Schwarzenegger pose in my visualization and everything, but it's a realistic goal because you have a lifetime to achieve it. It doesn't have to stop. You can search YouTube all day and find videos of 75, 90, 80-year-old people out working out and lifting weight, power lifters. This stuff gets real. It's insane. It never has to stop. Ever. So, you know, I feel like everybody has something. And that something could be anything. I mean, it could be a negative. It could be a positive. It can, whatever it is. So everyone has something. And my thing is to not run from it, embrace it. Even if it's a fear, you know. Because I can say the thing about being out of shape for my children, not being there for my children, that's a fear. You know, I would hate to get to that point. I'm terrified of that. Of being at a point in my life where one of my child, if just the one I have, if I have more, it asks me to go out and do something, and I know I don't have the physical ability to do it, and I have to make up some kind of story of why daddy can't go. It scares the shit out of me. It can't be it. That cannot be it. You know? So I say embrace it. Try to embrace your why. Find it, embrace it. Whatever it may be. Hug that shit tight. Sleep with it. Think about it all the time. Eat with it. And of course, we're going to be trying to apply this information into health, being that not just working out, you need to be able to apply this to your eating. If you fast, apply this to your fasting. Of course, I have a video with fasting as well. Go tune into that, but apply it to everything. This why is that it doesn't just fuel why I work out. That's why I eat this way, why I choose to read the books I read. A lot of this stuff. It's not just one thing. So when you have that, you have to apply it. I mean, when you have it and you know what it is, you have to apply it. Because like I said, we all have it. We all really know what it is. That thing that keeps you up at night, most nights, even if you're married or in a deep relationship or single, whatever it may be, you know what your other partner might not know. You know the things that you fear deep down. Use that. Embrace it. Staple it to your brain. Like make little sticky notes around the house with that fear, or not even just don't make it about negativity. I wouldn't say if you're not fear based, that positive go. Write it out. Just put it around the house. I'm not one for. I do a lot of positive affirmations, but I'm not one who religiously does positive affirmations. It's just not me. I'm just not me. But I do congratulate myself. I do appreciate myself. I tell myself thank you all the time. You gotta thank yourself. Stuff I'm doing now is setting me up for life at 90. You gotta thank yourself for that. Because when I'm 90, I'm going to be thanking my 28, 29-year-old self for making these decisions. Thank yourself now. Give yourself some flowers, man. This shit is hard. Get comfortable dreaming, That's something we lose as adults. We don't dream anymore, man. We lose our childlike ability to be able to say, oh, I want to be the president, and really want that. Or I want to be an astronaut and really want that. Where when we get to be adults, we say, hey, I want to lose this weight. And when you say that, do you want it? Like, you don't even really want, you don't want to do what it takes to get that. As a kid, you would clearly thread your whole life to get to that point. You'll go to ask your parents to send you to certain camps, schools, everything to get to that point. You're dedicated to that thing. You have to find your why, man. It's very important to just life, period. Embracing the why. Embracing the why. And one of the big things also, after you embrace your why enough that you are comfortable with it enough, even if it's something negative, share it. Share it with as many people as you possibly can. Heck, I'm putting mine on YouTube here now. Share it. It may help somebody else. And I can say that from experience. I got a good friend, I might say his name, but KP, you know who you are. He tells me all the time, me telling him about my why with my kids helped him find his why. And now he's a year and a half into his fitness journey. Taking it serious, doing the things that he needs to do. He's now fasting. He's cutting things out of his diet. I mean, every time I think of that, I'm just like, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. You need to share your why with as many people as possible. I feel like that's really important. And I feel like when you do that, you get a lot of less side eyes. Health journeys are They're not looked upon the greatest by family members, significant others, whoever, because some of those people might not be on the same page as you in life. They might not be ready to take that leap and work out like you're ready to work out. And maybe they don't know how. So when you tell them why you're doing something, when you're saying you're fasting for 36 hours and they're like, you're gonna kill yourself, you can tell them no. You just have to be able to keep that why going. It'll never leave you. Honestly, if you have one that's poignant enough to make you get up and do something, it'll never leave you. Never. So I guess, with that being said, man, I would definitely tell everybody, this entire health thing, it's a process. It's not to be rushed. Do not rush into this. Do not rush others to get into it. Don't alienate yourself by trying to get other people to move at the pace that you're moving at. Just focus on being the best you. Also making sure you sharing that why, telling other people what got you started, because you never know. We all have something special in us. And honestly, you just really have to find that. Not even find it. We know what it is. You know what it is. From a child, from your youngest age, you know what makes you special. And I feel like other people may see that as well. So, embrace your why. Make sure you share the why. And don't rush the process. Enjoy it. Honestly, enjoy this process. I didn't start this going for likes, subscribes, and all that stuff. I honestly just want to share this information. I really just want to have a genuine base of people who just come and share information, be it health talks, be it workouts, be it everything about health. We're going to have an edition over vitamins and supplements that are suitable for vegans here pretty soon. I hope you are here to tune in for that as well. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, share the video, leave comments. Please leave comments. If you want to, post your why down below so that maybe you can inspire somebody else. Maybe somebody's why is similar to yours and they just needed it to be brought to surface. So please share your whys down below. So this has been your boy AT. We're off again with another edition of Greenhouse Health. Remember, it's a lifestyle, so you got a lifetime. Don't rush it. Peace.